You see here, the father has a fat neck, the small chin, the small nose, but he's 18 months old, already had also problem.
所以你看那个爸爸来讲的话，他的下巴比较内缩，他的脖子有一点鹅脖子，就是感觉上比较胖一点。可是你在他的那个18个月大的儿子上面也可以看到，就是有类似的特征。所以这一块来讲的话，就是要强调就是说他是遗传性。
And he is breathing through his mouth. If you breathe through your mouth, if you are continuously with your mouth open, you have a breathing problem.
如果你现在来讲都是用嘴巴在呼吸，没办法就是用鼻子呼吸，习惯性的用嘴巴呼吸来讲的话，你就是有睡眠呼吸问题，就是很容易的话，因为你睡觉的时候用嘴巴呼吸来讲的话，你的睡眠时候呼吸的品质就会比较差。
You are engineers, so you should know about flow dynamic. You know that the flow is like a river. If you have a large river, the flow is slow. If you have a gorge, the flow goes very fast at where there is a narrowing. If the flow goes very fast, what is called the shear factor, the factor which is hitting the side of the wall, is going to be much more important than if you have a large river. So what has been done with engineer in physics is to calculate the shear factors in these patients who have anatomical abnormalities, and there is a lot of work which is done with engineer right now to develop equipment to measure these things using flow dynamics, because that's going to destroy your sensor. You hit the wall and you killed the sensor.
所以他刚刚讲到一个来讲就是流体力学嘛，就是就是白努力定律，然后来讲的话就是，如果你越狭窄的话，它的 flow 的话就是说越快。可是在这上面来讲，他们最近还发现说那些 flow 来讲 ，turbulence 的 flow， 它会破坏说你的整个就是表层的一些就是 nerve 跟那个，所以其实来讲的话，就是他很希望说工程师们就是可以就是可以就是知道，因为他们最近的来讲的话，他们就发现说如果说你的那个呼吸道比较狭窄，然后来讲的话，它比较就是容易产生乱流，这些乱流来讲，慢慢的就会破坏你的整个组织。所以来讲的话，就其实我想以最近来讲，大家比较容易知道就是广告有那个鼻舒了，就是你把那个鼻子撑开之后，那个用个弹簧片这样子 breathe right。
Wait. Here is a normal entrance. That's called the external valve, and it's very regular. Look, that infant. You see the difference? You see, these and these are not the same. This one is much smaller. It's an infant. Look, he's 6 months. He already has an abnormal entrance. He's going to have an abnormal flow. You can calculate that using flow dynamics, but we don't have good equipment. You are the one who are supposed to develop this equipment.
他希望大家可以发明，就是可以测量鼻阻力的那个 equipment， 就是很容易在门诊的时候就可以，就是诊断出来，就是因为现在我们还要再去排特殊的检查。
You see, this woman, each time that she breathes, that collapse, it's called the internal valve, but you can perfectly understand that there is a big problem. And this one, each time that he falls asleep, each time that he takes a breath, his two valve collapse. That can be repaired. And if we repair it before we destroy the sensor, we cure the person. The septum in the middle can be abnormal, and there is also filters inside that we call the turbinate, which get large because of allergies. You see, that's the septum, that's the turbinate. Look, it's the gorge, it's very small, and that should be like that. That's normal, that's abnormal. You are in Taiwan, you have a lot of allergies, a lot of you are like that, and you don't treat it. So you are going to start snoring, and you are going to develop high blood pressure, stroke, etc.
他刚刚讲的其实就是像鼻甲肥厚啦、鼻中隔弯曲啦这些等等，他是很希望说，其实这一块啊，还有就是那个就是那个外耳的，不是外鼻子的那个就是塌陷这些等等来讲，其实如果提早发现、提早治疗，其实是可以让那个整个的，就是之后睡眠品质可以改善，然后可以降低就是很多高血压还是就是一些代谢问题。
You see, these 10-year-olds of bone are completely flat. You are Chinese, you already have a tendency to have the maxilla flat. If you have allergy, it's going to be even flatter. She should have a bone which had grown. The bone did not grow because she grew this way, not that way. Why? She's at night like that with an open mouth. Here is
刚刚讲
another.
的是颧骨，就是颧骨。一般人来讲的话，颧骨是会比较凸出来，可是过敏的人来讲，张嘴呼吸，然后他像刚刚那个人来讲，他的颧骨都是平的，然后他习惯张嘴呼吸。
Also, when you don't grow very well, your teeth are not going to be good. Why? It's because the jaw is too small. If you have teeth which are like that, you have a small jaw.
那个其实他刚刚讲的就是一个原理，就是跟大家复习一下那个数学哦，就是三角形的底部决定三角形的面积。可是大家可以看，就是说当我们来讲的话，就是刚刚讲的颧骨，还有就是那个来讲的话，就是当你的那个孔道越小的时候，鼻子是一个三角形，当你的孔道越小的时候，它的底部，如果你底部越窄的话，它的整个三角形面积就是越小，所以来讲会你的呼吸阻力就越大。所以他刚刚讲的这个就是你刚刚你看这个牙齿来讲的话，它的就是整个三角形底部就非常非常狭窄，所以你的进气口就会非常非常狭窄。
One other thing, 2 days ago, I gave a talk to dentists, 250 dentists in the San Francisco area, because they are going to try to repair your teeth. They should not repair your teeth. They should repair your bone. And we know how to do that. So to take care of the teeth is useless because you have if you have these overcrowding teeth, if you have wisdom teeth problem, you have a much larger problem than your teeth. And they have been studied on the monkey. You see the monkey? We put little tube inside the monkey to increase the resistance. Okay? That's the monkey at birth, and we put the tube here. And what happened is exactly what you see here in the man. What happened is that it has an impact on the growth of your maxilla and your mandible. So if your teeth are overlapping, it's not because the teeth are wrong, it's because the bone are wrong, and that happened during early childhood.
鼻子就是用张嘴呼吸的人来讲，它会导致一个后果。他们在猴子和猴做的研究来讲的话，就是当你把鼻子塞住之后，还是让鼻子阻力变高之后，就是它会习惯张嘴呼吸。张嘴呼吸来讲的话，之后来讲你的就是你的上颚跟你的下颚就会变得很狭窄，然后就是这样子之后来讲，整个那个就咬合来讲就变得很窄，就是会变得就是非常的狭窄。 他在那个上星期五的时候，他跟整个湾区的旧金山湾区的250个就是整形的那个牙医就是演讲，他们就在讲，就是说，因为以前他们不会考虑到空间的问题，他们只考虑到咬合的问题，所以其实来讲，现在在就是我们临床上遇到很多，就是牙科就只注意到咬合的问题，可他们完全没有注意到说它整个空间的问题。像这个来讲的话，就是其实像这个 case 来讲，他就必须要做，就是要考虑到空间问题，而不是只有把牙齿拔掉，然后就是把那个咬合做好这样。
This is a 22-year-old boy or male. 22.
这是22岁的男性，哦对。
That's a woman which 30. And you see it's very narrow. Look the teeth. Look how the teeth are bad. And look how narrow and high that. It's the bone who did not develop. Here you have a big gap between the front and the back teeth. That's again because that did not grow up. That's woman has a maxillary deficiency, but you can see our nose is impacted, and she's born like that. And that's her anatomy, and look the teeth. So, you see, if you impair nasal breathing or any breathing, you are going to have a lot of change. And strange, but this very simple impact on nasal breathing has all these gross impairment, and nobody is paying attention, and nobody is doing a way to diagnose these children. We are trying to change that in many places. And we know, because that comes from a textbook, you see that if you reduce nasal breathing, you are going to have all these changes. But that's your gene. That's because you have a septum deviation. That's because you have allergy. That's because you breathe through your mouth. And all that is going to lead to that, which lead to mouth breathing. Mouth breathing is very, very bad, particularly during sleep.
所以他刚刚讲的就是，其实你 mouth breathing， 特别是你在发起的那种嘴巴呼吸来讲的话，它会导致就是说，像刚刚的连锁反应，就是你的咬合来讲会开始就是整个会造成整个鼻腔，还有就是上颚、下颚的呼吸道都会变得狭窄，变得狭窄之后来讲，就是之后来讲的话，一旦骨架定型，那以后后面的话就是连锁反应大概就是出来，就是那个睡眠呼吸中止的连锁反应就出来。所以其实，在小孩子的过敏的这一块，就是其实在从小就要开始治疗，这个是非常重要的。可是，在台湾来讲，目前是反其道而行，国小的气喘跟就是过敏的几乎是可能现在已经达到大概1/3的程度哦，所以大家来讲，在这一块其实是要特别去重视。
You see, that's the monkey before we change his nasal breathing. 3 months later, look at what had happened. 3 months in a monkey. This is not a monkey. This is a 6-year-old child. 6-year-old, and you see that's called a crossbite. See, same as the monkey, just because nobody cares about making a child breathe normally. If a child breathes through his mouth, it's an abnormal child. Some of you breathe through your mouth. You have a problem.
所以他刚刚讲的这个就是一个6岁的小孩，就是用嘴巴呼吸，所以他的牙齿就非常的紧。所以如果在做的话，有人就是用那个嘴巴呼吸的话，还是要特别小心一下就那个。
You have a problem. Okay, so you see, what we want is to have way to diagnose, way to treat much earlier than when we have obstructive sleep apnea, because